All right. So you know how sometimes life throws you these curveballs,
Yeah.
right? And they're not like fun curveballs, like the kind you want to hit out of the park.
Right.
More like the kind of curveball that makes you trip and then maybe even want to, I don't know, crawl back into bed.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
I'm talking about that ex,
You know the one?
the one who's suddenly like back from, well, wherever exes go.
Back from the past, yeah, they reappear.
Exactly.
It can be a real head scratcher, for sure.
It's a big one, and it's something, well, I bet a lot of us have faced, or who knows, might face someday.
Definitely. It's one of those universal relationship dilemmas, isn't it?
Definitely universal. Like, is it ever really over?
Right.
Is it a good idea to go back?
Yeah.
Is it a recipe for disaster?
Well, we're going to try and figure that out today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And for this deep dive, we're turning to some, well, some European wisdom.
Always a good idea.
I think so. Specifically, we're looking at this German podcast called, hold on, let me get this right. Sollten wir einen Ex zurücknehmen?
That's it, yeah.
So good.
Rolls right off the tongue.
It does. I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah. It basically translates to, should we take back an ex?
Okay, should we take back an ex? Straightforward. I like it.
Right to the point, yeah.
So no beating around the bush. What's the verdict from Germany?
Well, they come out pretty strong right from the start.
Oh, do tell.
They're pretty much team exes belong in the past. They make this analogy to a book.
Okay, I love a good analogy. Lay it on me.
Your life is like the book, right? And each relationship is a chapter,
Okay.
but not just like a bookmark,
Okay, yeah.
a full-blown chapter.
Got it.
You don't keep rereading the same chapter over and over again. You move on to the next one.
Oh, that's good. So like turning the page, basically.
Exactly. Closing the chapter, embracing the new.
I like it. I like it a lot. But isn't that a little, I don't know, maybe a bit oversimplified? I mean, people change, right? Things could be different now.
You're right. People definitely can change, and that's where the nuance comes in, right?
Okay, so there's more to it.
Yeah, the podcast really digs into the why. Like, why are you even thinking about going back?
Ooh, that's deep. So what are they saying?
Well, they say sometimes it's about, like, this fear of the unknown. It's like, starting over is scary, you know?
Right, a new chapter can be intimidating.
Totally. And it's easier to cling to what's familiar.
Yeah, even if what's familiar wasn't all that great to begin with.
Exactly. Like wearing those old shoes even though they give you blisters. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. Like we think we're choosing comfort, but really we're just kind of choosing, I don't know, the same old pain.
Yeah, yeah. You're avoiding the potential for growth and something better.
Avoiding growth. That's a good way to put it. So it's not really about love or second chances.
Well, it could be, right? But the podcast wants you to really think about it.
Like really, really think about it.
Yeah. Have those things that caused the breakup, have they really changed?
Oh, so like if those same red flags are still waving?
Exactly. You got to ask yourself, is this real change or are we both just slipping back into, the same old patterns?
Because it's comfortable.
Right.
Or easier.
Right. It's the path of least resistance.
So basically, before we even think about going back to an ex, we've got to do some serious soul searching about the why.
Yes, 100%.
If it's just about not being alone or dodging that whole starting over thing,
Yeah.
maybe not the best reason to jump back in.
Probably not a recipe for a happy ending.
Right. And speaking of happy endings, the podcast brings up this idea of self-love.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and they're saying that sometimes, saying no to an ex.
Yeah.
That can actually be like the biggest yes to yourself.
It's powerful. Right.
It's huge.
It's about respecting yourself.
Setting boundaries.
Right, when you're worse.
Knowing you deserve a relationship that, well, that doesn't make you want to crawl back into bed and hide.
All right, a relationship that lifts you up.
Exactly.
That celebrates you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling this. So it's not about punishing the ex or even like denying yourself happiness.
No, not at all.
It's more about what?
It's about protecting yourself, prioritizing your own needs and wants.
And making sure your future, the next chapters of your book,
Right.
they're filled with, well, good stuff.
Exactly. Positive relationships, growth, happiness.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that makes you excited to keep turning those pages.
Right. You want to be excited about what's coming next.
I'm with you. So boundaries are key. Got it. But the podcast also gets real about the downsides of like rekindling things with an ex, right?
Oh, yeah. They don't sugarcoat it.
Okay, so what are some of the risks? Fill me in.
Well, one big one they talk about is that sometimes getting back together can actually stop you from learning the lessons you were supposed to learn from the breakup.
Whoa, hold up. Explain that one.
Like, think about it. If you just go back to the same situation, same patterns,
Yeah.
you might miss out on the chance to really grow, to figure out what you need to change, to do things differently next time.
So you're stuck in this loop.
Exactly. And those same issues that caused the breakup in the first place,
Yeah.
they're probably still there, lurking beneath the surface.
Oh, that's not good. So, like, even if things seem okay for a bit,
Right.
those old problems can come back to bite you.
Oh, yeah. And usually they come back even stronger.
Ouch. So it's not just about, like, repeating mistakes. It's about missing out on, well, what?
It's about missing out on the chance to evolve, to meet someone new who might actually be a much better fit for you now.
The person you've become, right?
Exactly. The you that's learned from the past, the you that's ready for something healthier.
Okay, I'm seeing the bigger picture now.
Good.
It's like the podcast is saying, I don't know, move forward, not backward.
I love that.
Right. It's about seeing that ending, even if it's hard.
Yeah.
It can actually open up, all these new possibilities.
It's like clearing the way for a fresh start.
Exactly. So what's the takeaway here?
Well, for me, it's that before you even think about going back to an ex, really ask yourself, what does a fulfilling future look like for you?
Without that ex.
Exactly. What do you truly want in a partner? What kind of relationship do you deserve?
Wow. Deep questions.
The right ones, though, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
So to sum it all up, when it comes to this whole ex thing,
Yeah.
what's the German podcast saying?
They want you to be mindful. Take time for self-reflection.
Yep.
Understand your motivations. Why are you considering going back?
The why.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to set boundaries.
And say no if you need to, even if it's hard.
Yeah. It's okay to protect yourself.
Yeah.
To prioritize your own well-being.
Love that. Because at the end of the day, we've all got this one amazing story to tell, right?
I do.
And maybe, just maybe, the best chapters are the ones we haven't written yet.
I think you're right.
So, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Make choices that feel good, that help you grow.
Choices that align with your vision of a happy future.
And who knows, maybe that happy future involves, well, writing a whole new love story.
Maybe it does.
And maybe, just maybe, it's even better than the one you left behind.
Possibly.
Something to think about.